Hello, hello. This is Jay of Jay Goddess Tarot, and I wanted to bring you a type of reading I haven't done for a while, but this is still a timeless reading. This is a reading about finding peace and stillness. So, this is definitely a part of my self care and self love series of videos, and I feel that it's something that everyone could benefit from, understanding what could help them find peace and stillness within themselves, within their environment, etc. So I have four piles today. We have pile one with this beautiful polychromatic jasper, pile two with this lovely rose quartz, pile three with the ruby zoisite, and pile four with a very pale lavender lepidolite. So just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in and out, in and out. And while you're figuring out which pile or piles really calls to you, check out the description box below. I have links to my paid readings on both Coffee and Etsy. They're the same no matter what platform you go on, as well as my membership site that I have on Coffee, where I publish a lot of exclusive content for my High Vibe Tribe, pick a card readings, 2 Hot for YouTube readings, and so much more. Also, check out the links to my social media. I have Instagram and Tumblr. Please follow me on both. And then I have a link to my Amazon wish list where you can feel free, only if you wish, to gift me a deck if you feel so inclined and inspired to. I would use it in a lot of pick a card readings. I also have the prices listed below for some of my paid readings, just so you don't have to click extra links. All right, so if you've picked your pile, let's get started. Oh, and it's okay to pick more than one pile. And also, this is a timeless reading, so if nothing is calling to you or really resonates with you right now, that's okay. There may not be any messages in any of the piles at present for you, but energy is fluid. So if you come back to this reading at a later date and something really calls to you, that means there's a message for you at that time. All right, now let's get started. All right, my pal ones, for those of you who selected this beautiful kind of multi-chromatic jasper, it's a lovely stone. It's a very grounding stone. This is your reading about what you need to do to find peace and stillness. So I used a mix of various oracle decks for this particular reading, and I'm just going with whatever I'm called to use for the different piles. So the next pile, if another pile calls to you, could be a completely different cards from different decks as that shuffled and came out. However, in this pile, what came out were oracle cards, and we will start going through them now. So we have soulmate connection, ask for help via phone, and throwing shade. So this first set of oracle cards, the universe spirit is first of all saying there is a soulmate connection on the horizon for you, my pal ones. This is not a love reading, but that decided to come through. Back to specifically the peace, finding peace and stillness. I'm getting the energy from this pile that many of you, the words that are coming up are silently suffering. And I mean that in a manner that you have a lot that you're dealing with internally, but you continue to put on a brave face, interact in your daily activities, whether it be work, school, etc. And the reason that I'm getting that many of you don't see what you're doing as any type of suffering is that you are comparing maybe what you're currently experiencing, your current energetic state, to the dramatized things often portrayed in TV dramas when people are going through a lot, i.e., Lifetime movies or something like that. Understand that you do not have to be in that type of overly dramatic situation to still be suffering in some way, shape, or form. I feel much of this is internal. You have not, for many of you, reached out and maybe asked for help in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not feeling, and I'm not feeling this is a pride or ego thing about the fact that you maybe haven't asked for help yet. This is more to the point that you, my pal ones, are very strong and sturdy and grounded people. That is what's coming up. So you don't realize all of the things on you would crack another person. Um, and those of you who select that pile, you will know what that is as applicable to your situation. But Spirit Universe is saying it may be time to reach out and ask for some help. Now, because everyone's situation is different, this could be you ask if you have a lot of responsibilities on your plate, let's say, let's start with a practical standpoint. It may be you asking and incorporating other viable adults, let's say, or people who are viable options to help you in those tasks. For example, if you do a lot for your household, it may be time to ask your older children, if you have children, to pitch in on some of the things, or ask your significant other, your partner or spouse, whomever, to pitch in on some of those activities to take some of those things off your plate. That's one thing that came up. Ask for help could also mean if you are going through something a little more personal in nature and it's about you needing to process some emotions, some energy, really needing to heal from things that have happened in your past and they're still impacting your present. That may be reaching out and asking for help for maybe a licensed mental health professional. And please know, mental health is very important and there's no shame in asking for help. If that particular situation does apply to you, does resonate with you, knowing because of, I feel, the busyness of your schedule as well as what will work best for you internally, doing something via phone will likely be the most impactful. So, for instance, there are several outlets, including apps, available for both Apple and Android stores. I'm speaking for the US because I'm based in the US. I know there are several apps that are available where someone can get support from a licensed mental health professional. They can get counseling, therapy, etc., in a much more convenient way, in a much more, I believe, digestible way for some who, going to an office and everything would be a little overwhelming or uncomfortable. Asking for help, if that is the sort of help that would be beneficial to you, doing something like that via phone will help you, will be of some service to you. Now, everyone who picked this pile is going through different situations. So you decide what that looks like. Spirit is really calling you to take a step back and explore your options. Do your research. If the ask for help resonates with you and it's a more practical thing, figure out who you need to ask to help you with what. If you have caregiver responsibilities, let's say for older relatives or parents, it may be prudent to ask siblings or other viable options of adults to step in and take some of the things off your plate. I feel that for many of you who picked the pile, it's actually both. You may need to practically ask for help in managing all that you have going on, but also you may need some additional support. And doing that via phone is going to be very impactful. Now, this throwing shade is interesting because the energy that's coming in is people know that you are strong and that you can handle a lot. And I feel that you have people who are close to you. For some of you, I feel this is a close energy. I don't feel these are strangers or enemies. I feel these are people who are close to you who maybe don't wish you well. They don't wish you to find that peace and that calmness and that stillness. And it's coming from a place of insecurity and jealousy is what I'm picking up, because they do not have their shit. They do not have their lives together to the extent that you do. Even if you don't feel that way, my pal ones, you do. You are coming off as strong and capable and handling a lot of things and juggling a lot of things. So be mindful of people that may be close to you that may be throwing shade, and that could come in the form of snide comments, snarky comments, not willing to help when they know you could use it. So just be mindful of the people around you. That could be friends, that could be family, that could be people in social organizations, that could be coworkers, whomever that may be kind of sending you this shady, not positive energy. You are divinely protected from it. Know that, but just be mindful so you can, so you, Spirit is really calling you to be more aware of these people. And I feel that many of you know who these people are or have recognized these comments but have dismissed it because you want to believe in the highest good of this person or these people. And overall, there's nothing wrong with believing the good in people. Spirit is calling you to be more aware and have a little more discernment, because these are the same people that would be taking away from your energy, you know. And they would not be the best to have around you, not for any extended a period of time. So this isn't necessarily about cutting off people to find that peace and calmness. This is about having more awareness and discernment about people in all parts of your life that you may need to distance yourself from, or limit, put boundaries around your time about how much you spend time with them that you don't have to. For example, if this is a coworker that kind of is always giving those, backhanded compliments and digs because you can take on a lot, or a family member or whomever, you may have to be around them because of your relationship to them. However, you can limit the areas in your life that you allow them to have any comment on. You can limit what you share. That's a boundary that would be useful for you, my pal ones, to put in place. As well as being aware that they don't necessarily mean you well, and it's more coming from a place of jealousy and insecurity than genuinely having something against you. Please understand that. However, it's still important to have discernment and awareness, because that is going to help you with finding and grounding yourself in this peace and this stillness. Now on to some other oracle cards. We have I am humble, I take care of my body. My pal ones, I have a feeling that you actually are quite humble. You wouldn't call yourself humble because that's not a humble thing to do, of course. However, I feel you're quite humble. You get a lot of work done. You don't complain a lot, and you just keep moving. You're human, so you let people maybe know when you're frustrated from time to time or you're tired. But overall, you're solid. You're strong. You're not a complainer. You don't probably ask for as much of people as they ask of you. And it is causing you to be very out of balance. And we're actually going to talk about balance a little later on. And then I take care of my body. If you are not actively doing things that are the best for your health, for example, if you've fallen into some type of neglecting going to the gym, neglecting working out, taking your walks, let's say, or meditating or doing yoga because of all of the things on your plate, or because you don't have time, this is another place that Spirit Universe is calling you to be mindful of, to start taking care, start again, I believe, or start, if you haven't done it for a very long time, taking care of your body. We only get one of these things, so you definitely want to treat it as best as you can. And I feel that putting more boundaries around your time, asking for help in different capacities and ways, will afford you the time to start doing more to take care of your body, which is something you have a strong desire to do, my pal ones, especially if getting out in nature is important to you. I feel hiking is coming up as an activity that you may enjoy, or just being out and walking in the park, or things like that. Joining a fitness class that's outside, or things like that. Joining a, let's say, Couch to 5K group or something like that meets twice a week. Just some ideas coming up, because I feel nature is something that's very peaceful for you. And if in finding your peace and calmness, why not combine a 2-for-1, doing things to take care of your body as well as doing things to allow you to be in nature, allow you to be outside, breathe that fresh air. All right, some other cards that came up were, I am confident in my decisions and it is safe for me to speak up for myself. So these two are really telling the story. In order for you to really have that, finding that peace and calmness, my pal ones, is I feel you're very sure of the things you want and don't want. I feel that you're very sure of the way to move forward. What I'm getting is that oftentimes when you say, hey, like a new project starts or a new something comes up and it would be useful for other people to help, you may suggest that up front, but I feel that the people that are throwing shade often use emotionally manipulative tactics. Ugh, that's what I want to say. To try to make you doubt what you said. And I feel the first thing that you said is what you meant, and it actually made the most sense. But the people I feel who are throwing shade, friends, families, coworkers, they just don't want to do work. Now, like I said, this isn't necessarily about cutting off relationships with people. However, for some of you, this is definitely a small percentage of you who selected this pile. This could be about, using the discernment and awareness about the people throwing shade. A longer term decision could be for you to really start reflecting if you want some of these people in your life, especially if it's not a relationship you have to have. Like, your family's your family, and at the moment your coworkers are your coworkers, but people who call themselves your friends and whom you choose to spend time with socially, this may be a time to really reflect and see if these are the people long term that you want in your life, and if it may be best for you and your well-being and you being able to find your peace and stillness and stay in that energy to cut them out of your lives. Now, everyone is good. The people that message applies to, everyone's going to do that differently. So it's not about a rush. It's definitely about taking the time, connecting with yourself, and understanding what's the best thing for you to do, my pal ones, in order to move forward. Now, moving on to some chakra cards. We have Divine Consciousness, 23-7, and Self-Esteem, 8-3. So we have purple and we have yellow. So I know yellow is solar plexus chakra, and I believe purple is crown chakra. These are two of your chakras that may need clearing. They may be blocked. Things that may be helpful in doing that: listening to sound baths, listening to Tibetan singing bowls. Go on YouTube and you could say, clearing blocked solar plexus chakra, clearing blocked crown chakra. Like, you can Google that or YouTube that and you will get a lot of resources that come up. And definitely engage in the resource or resources that resonate with you the most. And connecting, asking for help will give you the space to start trusting your intuition more, connecting with that divine consciousness, as well as working on your self-esteem will give you confidence in your decisions. So when people try to approach you with emotionally manipulative tactics, you will be aware of them, and it'll be a much easier time for you to dismiss them, counteract them, etc., or confront them, whatever is comfortable for you. Now, I want to go back to this one. I kind of skipped over it. It is safe for me to speak up for myself. Another thing, and this is kind of a running theme, I think, for some of you, that's an underlying energy here, is self-esteem. If you have some challenges with your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-concept, self-confidence, it may be another reason why you allow the people who are throwing shade and dumping things on your plate. This may be another reason why you take so much on, and you also may be uncomfortable asking for help. There may be some underlying issues of self-esteem or worthiness or self-confidence, etc. Some resources that come up to potentially start you on that. On the asking for help in the via phone, like I said, that's reaching out to, as you're comfortable after you do your research, a licensed mental health professional, as well as working on your self concept. And that has to do with reprogramming your self concept, your subconscious about how you feel about you. It's a law of assumption. Subject that you can find a lot on YouTube about. Feel free to look that up as well so you can, figure out the best course of action for you. Now, over here we have Angelite. Support is all around you. And Agate, get back into balance. So I feel this is saying, my pal ones, that overall you are very much supported in the 5D from your guides, from higher, from the universe, from higher self, from God, universe. But it is time for you to get back in balance. So what is going to help you find your peace and stillness is getting back into balance. That is mind, body, spirit, etc. You need to holistically get back in balance. And I feel this could be like your life overall in terms of your schedule, and in your relationships and in your responsibilities. This is a big call to action to get back into balance. Those are two stones that can also, agate is a stone that can really help you do that. And then wearing angelite as well will help you with in terms of protection. So I hope this reading was very useful, my pal ones, in understanding how you can find peace and stillness. Please check out the links below in the description box to my paid readings on Ko-fi and Etsy. I also have links to my social media outlets, including Instagram and Tumblr. Please follow me there. And I have a link to my Amazon wish list. Feel free to purchase a deck if you so choose, and I would use it in many, many readings here on this YouTube channel. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when I post new content. If another pile has called to you, really resonates with you, feel free to click that as well to watch that reading. But if this is where I leave you for now, I thank you for letting me read for you today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. All right, for my pal twos, for those of you who selected the lovely rough rose quartz, this is your reading about what you need to do to find peace and stillness, peace and calmness. All right, so I used a mix of different oracle cards to bring through whatever messages I could from spirit, the universe, about what you need to do specifically. So let's go through the first set of cards. We have yes, happy outcome, desires reconnection, and checking your social media. What I'm feeling for you, my pal twos, you find the most peace and stillness actually when you are a part of a group. And that doesn't, or part of a connection, let me rephrase that. What that means is where many people find a lot of peace and stillness when they are by themselves or off alone. You, my pal twos, find a lot of peace and stillness when you are part of a connection. And specifically, I'm feeling a friendship. Of course, we all, feel great when we're part of a romantic connection, but this is more in reference to a friendship connection. Now, the energy that's coming through for this pile is there may have been some types of disconnects that you've had in recent times with true friends, maybe a long-term friend or friends that really do have your best interest at heart, my pal twos. I'm feeling this could have been, everyone's different, everyone's situation is different that picked this pile. But if this resonated with you, there was likely some type of disconnection in, I'll say, recent past from whenever you are viewing this video. This is a timeless reading between you and, I'm feeling in particular, a really good friend, like one particular person. It could have been with others, but I feel that whatever this disconnect was about, it was something small that kind of snowballed into something bigger. And I don't feel either of you wanted or expected it would get to that. And now I feel there's just disconnection there. So you may have stopped communicating with one another. And it's coming through, the energy that's coming through is that you are desirous of a reconnection. And it's like neither of you knows what to do, or what should happen for the first move. Now, I do feel part of this energy is connected potentially to ego. And, I'm going to be right. I'm going to have the last word. So I do feel that played a part maybe at first whenever this disconnection happened with this. I'm really feeling one main person, one real friend. I don't think this is a fake person. This is somebody who genuinely wants nothing but the best for you. And now that I feel that you felt that way as well as that person felt that way as well, no, I'm not going to say anything first. I'm not going to say I'm sorry first, or whatever needs to be said. I'm not going to discuss it first. I'm not, going to deal with him. But now I feel some time has passed, and that time will be different for, different people watching. But some time has passed, and now you're at this space where you may not know how to get back in connection with them. Okay? So the thoughts that are coming up for me is like a bit of frantic thoughts around, should I text them? Should I, message them on Facebook? Should I like one of their pictures on Instagram? Like, I feel there's now this space that you are in, my pile twos, where you have a desire to reconnect because you have processed your emotions on this thing, whatever was small and snowballed, as well as this other person, but you're not sure about the way to go about it. One of the things, and I feel you and this person probably mirror actions quite a bit, and like I said, this is coming strongly across as a friendship, is you're checking their social media and they're probably checking yours. Just to see. And I don't think now it's about, oh, did they say something negative about me? Or they're checking to see if I said something negative about them. Like, I never feel that what you two, the disconnection you two went through, was public or messy. That's not the. Now, it could have been for some. But if that was the case, I feel that's a very slim number of you who selected the pile. For the vast majority of you who selected this pile, I feel this disconnection was definitely offline, in private, like in person, and you two just decided to not communicate, after whatever that was. After it snowballed into something much bigger than it started out to be. And I really don't think it's something that was like one person thought it was really serious and the other person wasn't. Like, for instance, say you had a friend and you went out to, let's say, a club or a party with them, and they left with some random guy and they don't think it's a big deal, but you're very upset. No, like, that is a much more, serious thing because it has to do with somebody's safety. I don't feel it was anything like that. Whatever it is, started out as something small and snowballed into something much bigger. And what Spirit is saying is, this may be something where you two need to come together and, out of love and respect for one another, agree to disagree about what this is. and that's okay, and respect one another's stance on it. It could be something like wearing masks or political parties. I don't even feel it's something that maybe hot button, but it could be. Um, but whatever it was that was small that snowballed into something bigger, you have had time to reflect about the way you and this person interacted, and you want to reconnect with them. So let's move on to some other oracle cards. So we have I am a good friend and I am always healing. I am a good friend is obvious. Like I said, what's coming through strongly is what's going to help you find this stillness and this peace is friendship connection. That really does genuine connection. Let me rephrase that. This isn't about you being, with 50 people that you hardly know and you're all fake friends. It's not what I'm talking about. Genuine connection is the thing that really helps you find a lot of peace. Because with picking the rose quartz, I feel you have a lot of love and care to give, and having someone mirror or reciprocate that energy back to you is very nourishing for your soul. Uh, so I'm a good friend. That's obvious. I have a feeling this has to do with friendship. But now I'm always healing. This gives a little context to the background of whatever this thing is. This smaller thing that snowballed into something bigger. One of the components that's coming through of why it snowballed is because whatever it was triggered you, and it didn't have anything to do in a trigger that happens, you and it's something you didn't know would trigger you, uh, and it led up to you maybe projecting emotions onto the situation and to this friend that didn't have anything to do with them. It had the fact that you were triggered because you weren't healed from something in your past. So this I am always healing is definitely a call to the universe, spirit, for you to realize the areas in which you need to work on your own personal healing. Now, I feel for many of you who selected this pile and that, you're in this disconnection with this friend, you have now come, there's been enough time and space that you realized one of the reasons it snowballed was because you were triggered by something totally unrelated that happened, that wasn't related to them, wasn't related to this thing, whatever. For some of you, I do think you realize that. For others of you who have not come to that point of awareness yet, really reflect back on where that escalation of this thing took place, how this thing snowballed, and really reflect about why that happened. I feel that awareness is going to help you start doing your self work on anything you need to heal from. Now, healing is an ongoing process. Every day we are alive, um, we're never fully there. Like, you never reach nirvana. That's not the point. But every day we are alive, this is something we can work on our self healing. Now, that can be in small or large ways depending upon what that is. So, for example, if you were triggered and the event that it threw you back into mentally or emotionally was very traumatic, it may be prudent or useful for you to reach out to the services of licensed mental health professionals to help you process the emotion, to help you gain the right awareness, to help you in a lot of ways. They are trained to do that. And no, understand it's not about necessarily going into an office per se. It could be something that you do through your phone, because there are apps available and websites available through which, and hotlines available through which you can call and get the type of support that you need. So you're definitely not alone, my pal twos. However, if this is something you were triggered by and it was something that you are a lot more comfortable exploring your healing, let's put it that way, on your own, journaling is coming up very strongly for me as something to bring through for you to do to help you with that healing, help you as a part of that process, help you start processing that emotion, processing that trigger, etc. As well as get really clear about this situation that happened that causes disconnection with your friend. All right, some other cards. I am peaceful with my emotions and I am breathing. You, my pal, twos, I feel like going back to the trigger, I think that your emotions can, I want to say get the best of you, but that's not quite it. I feel that some of you are passionate people, and makes sense. You're rose quartz, you have a lot of love to give, but I feel sometimes you are not the master of your emotions. Okay, and this I am peaceful with my emotions is spirit calling you to understand you have control of your emotions. Your emotions do not have control of you unless you give them control. So it's really a call to be more self aware, be more mindful. And I don't think this isn't a rough or forced process. Please understand that, especially with the rose quartz, which is a loving, soft energy. This is about doing the self work so you come to the point of mastery of your emotions. Like I said, this isn't about forcing or harshness, none of that. It's about doing that work so you can come to that point of mastery within yourself. And then I am breathing. For this, if you at all have challenges with anxiety, you may be a very shallow breather at times. And I am breathing is calling you to do things to kind of climb down that emotional ladder, breathe deeply, work on processing your emotions in a very productive way that's in alignment with your highest good. So I am breathing, I think literally, yes, it means I am breathing, I am alive. But number two, I am breathing. I am aware of my breath. I am aware of the power of breathing and what it can do in my life. Okay? So, along with journaling, meditation, and different breathing exercises, go on YouTube. There are so many different resources that you can research, and there's channels dedicated to different types of breathing exercises. If you're into yoga, if you'd like to try that because it's matching breathing, mind, and movement together, try that. And this is more gentle, like I said, to go along with the energy of the rose quartz. When I say yoga, I mean something like yin yoga. And yin yoga is also YIN yoga is something that's also can be very helpful with processing and releasing emotions. People often say that they cry when they're on their mat. Um, from what I've read in comments of different YouTube videos that I've personally tried, and I can say that for myself, it is a good way to get deep down and process emotions. So doing something like yin yoga may be another tool that can help you with working on your healing, being peaceful with your emotions, reconnecting with that friend. Like this will help you get to that really balanced place. Now, some chakra cards that came out for you, my pal twos, were 2-1 finances and 9-3 personal power. So the orangish color, this is about some things that have to do with your lower chakras, sacral chakra, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am, please correct me in the comments. Uh, but that could be something that may not be an immediate to this particular situation, but could be an area that you may have some anxiety or discomfort around. Has to do with your finances. And I believe doing the work to process emotion, and so you can really process it, release it in a way that's in alignment with your highest good, may release any anxiety if you have it. And I feel for some of you do around finances. Now, personal power, once again, this talks about the sacral chakra. I got that for the last pile list too. I'm sorry, solar plexus chakra, yellow. Yeah. This is about doing things that help you regain your personal power, when you become the master of your emotions, when you are working on your healing, when you are working on more awareness, you are gaining and leveling up in your personal power. All right, now we also have some crystals that came out, some crystal cards. We have Sunstone, Take Pleasure in the Things You Do, and Blue Lace Agate, Find Calm. Now, the Sunstone, I feel it relates to the finances. If you see, they're similar colors. And it is about taking pleasure in the things you do. I feel for you, my Paltus, as I was saying, finding your peace and your stillness is through connection. That also applies to, it could be your work. I feel first and foremost, it's your connection. I feel that you do find a lot of pleasure in your connections, your genuine connections that you have, and they help you go further, and just be the best version of yourself versus others who find their peace and calmness through, alone time. Now, Blue Lace Agate, Find Your Calm. This is all about finding your center, finding your balance, which completely goes in alignment to finding, your peace and your stillness. And I think that goes back to I am breathing and I am peaceful with my emotions and I am healing. All of those things really work together, and you engaging in different practices and exercises that will allow you to be the master of yourself. And then when you are ready, things I feel for you, my pal, too, are going to line up where you're going to come back into connection with this person. And I don't feel it's very long in the future from whenever you're watching this video that is going to, a circumstance or a situation is going to come up where you are either super inspired to call them, but I feel for most of them, they're going to reach out to you. And that is going to spark the reconnection and open up the door for you all to have, the conversation that you need to have from a much more clear and open place. So these are the messages that came through for you, my pal, too, about finding your stillness and calm. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when I post new content. Also, check out the links below in my description box for a link to my paid readings on both Ko-fi and Etsy. Don't worry, there's same readings on both platforms. I also have a list of, the cost and everything for my readings if you're, curious. I have a link also on Ko-fi is my membership site. So I publish a lot of exclusive content for my High Vibe tribe of subscribers. We have a great time over there. Too hot for YouTube readings, longer readings, etc. Then I have links to my social media outlets, both Instagram and Tumblr. Please follow me on both. And then I have a link to my Amazon wish list. If you ever wish to gift me a deck, I'd very much appreciate it. And I'd use it in a lot of pick-a-card readings, as well as my paid readings. Feel free to click on another pile if you feel called to do so. If not, and this is where I leave you for today, thank you for letting me read for you, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Hello, hello, my pal threes. For those of you who selected this beautiful, rough ruby zoisite, this is your reading about what you need to do to find stillness, calmness, peace, etc. Now, I have shuffled and they've popped out messages from the universe, spirit, from several oracle decks to help you find some guidance and some insight around this. So let's start at the beginning. We have positive energy, show more respect, commitment coming, and summertime. So I'll start with the last two cards. I feel many of you who selected this pile, I don't think you are outwardly worried about a relationship. I think you're desirous of one, and you may not have been in a relationship for a while, and that, a while, classify that as you wish for yourself. But a commitment is coming in the summertime. This is not a love reading, but that message, spirit, the universe decided to let come through. And now I'll go back to the first two cards. The positive energy and the show more respect. So you, my pal threes, I am getting the energy that many of you live in your head, okay, to a great extent. You could be introverted, but I'm getting more omnivert, like you're okay being out and social and connecting. But I have a feeling for many of you to recharge, you like to do it alone. You like to do it in the privacy of your own spaces. And that could be, your own room, your own home, going on vacation somewhere, going on a staycation, regardless. But I feel you really recharge best by yourself, even though you're totally comfortable interacting and being around others. Now, this positive energy is talking about you are in your head. You live in your head. I think you have your own very vivid world that goes on in there. But I'm not feeling that your energy is negative. Okay? What's coming through is that your energy is more, I don't want to say flatline, that's not the word. Your energy is coming through as static at times. Okay? It's very static. Like you're very even keeled. That's how you appear. Now, the reason for some of you being like that, my pal threes, is because maybe through some painful experiences in life, maybe through things that you were taught growing up, etc., you were basically told not to be as excited or enthusiastic about some of the ideas you had, or that they were stupid, or just negative things. So this is to me more of a learned behavior, okay? You've learned to be more static in what you feel you are capable of. You've learned to be more static in being positive. Like, I feel, this is what I mean by static. Say that you're very talented in terms of creativity, right? Say you're very talented in terms of music or drawing or what have you. Because of negative things that have been said to you, or things you were taught growing up, even negative things said to you by, parental figures, about, oh, that's not sustainable if you would go into that as a career. Oh, you're not talented enough to do that. Just things that really are low vibrational and really show more where they were at versus them, versus anything really about you. So you then took on the mindset as you've gotten older, as you know it, yeah, I may like to draw or sing or, do these things or do photography, but I'm going to go and just get a regular job, or I'm going to go to school and just get a 9 to 5 job working for somebody else, or get a trade, and like I'm going to go that very air quotes stable route. And spirit universe is calling for you to have more positive energy, is calling for you to stop blocking yourself, stop naysaying yourself. And like I said, I feel for many of you this is a learned behavior with the naysaying yourself. You have got to be more positive. And I don't, like I said, I don't think you're negative. I feel that you just, if a really exciting creative thought pops up in your head for something, you kind of stamp it out a bit or tamp it down before you allow your mind to go too far in, formulating how it would work or how you would test it out or how you would try it. Stop doing that. You need to allow those positive thoughts or those hits of inspiration or those hits of intuition, you need to allow them to flow. That is where you're going to find the most peace and stillness, because the energy I'm getting from you by Pal Threes is that, like I said, I don't feel you're negative. I don't feel you're an overly negative person. I don't feel that you are in this space or in this swirl. I feel that you tamp down a lot of your desires and your creative sparks because of those past experiences or what you were taught growing up. Now, the show more respect, that is really about showing yourself, your ideas, and your intuition more respect. This is about you showing you more respect. It is vital and necessary, is the way the message is coming through. for you to do that, for you to release that old self-talk, release that old subconscious programming that's telling you you can't, a creative career isn't sustainable. With the example I've used, Spirit, the universe is calling for you to release that old narrative because it does not serve you. You can survive with the way you think, meaning, yeah, you can get the job that pays, the traditional job pays the bills, but you will not thrive. And you have a deep desire to thrive, but I feel you are oftentimes in opposition with your desires and you tamp them down. Now, please understand, this is not about someone being reckless or doing things that are dangerous. It's not what I mean. It's about when the inspiration comes up. Like I said, say you're quite creative. We'll take somebody who can draw. And you think, you know what, I would love to make an indie comic book series, maybe about a group that you don't see represented very much in comic books, but that very much aligns to you. Instead of going to the art supply store and getting maybe a sketch pad and some different colored markers to help you just jot out your idea, you would stop yourself. It is the norm for you to stop yourself before you even allow the idea to settle. So it is really time for you to show more respect to yourself and your gifts and abilities, because I'm feeling you have quite a bit of them. Now, and it's vital, and it all loops back in, and I'll show you how when we get to the chakra cards, those pretty color cards you see to the side of your screen. Next set of oracle cards. This is, I am a beautiful expression of life and I trust my intuition. All right. Once again, this is about you, how you're going to find your peace and stillness, because I don't feel that you are anxious, my pal 3. What's coming through is that you are numb. You have numbed yourself to a lot of your desires. You kind of have gotten into the habit and the old self-conscious, this self-conscious tape telling you you have to do things a traditional way, or you can't possibly do the things that you are actually gifted and talented to do. Like I said, that have come from either negative experiences through your life, or negative upbringing, or people who told you you weren't good enough or couldn't do it. Just rubbish, okay, that does not serve you at all. Know that you are a beautiful expression of life. Notice the word expression. You are being called to really have more positive energy, show more respect toward your gifts and talent, and operate in them. For some of you, you may feel that means an all or nothing thing. So for instance, one of the components or the reasons why you are very quick to tamp down ideas is because you feel you have to do it 100% all in or not do it at all. That is not a fruitful way to approach this or any gift or talent or thing you want to explore. Instead of thinking that, think, like I said in the example that I just gave, if you are creative and you have an idea for a comic book series or whatever, just go to the store and buy a sketch pad and some colored markers. Just say, hey, I'm going to spend 10 minutes a day doodling down ideas. I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day doodling down ideas. I'm actually going to spend time sketching every day. Whatever it is, you can take small steps. There's nothing wrong with small. Small is powerful because small allows you to build the momentum. It allows you to build confidence, and it allows you to become consistent in something. So if you think small is something to be dismissed, know that that is not accurate. Start small. It's okay, because small can be very powerful. And I feel for you, my pal 3, starting in that manner will be very digestible for you. Like, it won't go against it won't go against the things that you currently believe is the only way you can make it. A book recommendation that is specifically coming up for you is Tiny Habits by Dr. BJ Fogg. And it talks about this specific thing, starting really small and building habits that really, um, to sum it up in a very rough way, that don't come up against your conscious resistance. For example, say you were trying to exercise, starting with one push-up a day. You know what I mean? It's so small, it wouldn't come up against your internal conscious resistance or subconscious resistance to exercising that you may not be able to get around. Stuff like that. I feel it's a great book to read. It's on audiobook. So listen to it. And I feel something like that could give you some ways to start really operating in more positive energy, respecting your gifts more, and doing maybe more with them. Now, I trust my intuition. Yes, my pal threes, you have to trust your intuition. I feel that you, like I said, a lot of times tamp it down, and you are operating this static energy that's coming through for you and how you operate. Because, like I said, I'm not feeling that you're negative, but I feel that you tamp down any overly positive feelings or excitement, especially about things that are on an unconventional path as it applies to you. Learned behavior that you're coming out of, you're going to work on that, is just, it's static, it's stuck, it's not for your highest good. And like I said, you will survive in it, work and pay bills, but you won't thrive in it, which is ultimately your desire, what your soul wants to do as a beautiful expression of life on this 3D plane. All right, some other cards. I am the creator of my world, and I am trusting of myself and others. So Spirit Universe is calling you to start getting clear about what you want in life. I feel you have followed or are following the conventional path because that is what you've been told is going to be successful. And like I said, I don't feel you are negative, but this static energy, it's not, you don't have peace. What I'm feeling is numbness. I feel you have mastered being numb to your own desires. And that is really being called to change and being shaken up. And then trusting yourself. Trusting yourself. We have two cards to talk about trust. I am trusting of myself and others. And then I trust my intuition. It is time to show more respect. It is time for you to start trusting yourself to a greater extent, my pal threes. Because as I stated, learned behavior. I feel you have been taught to not trust your desires, to not trust your passions, to not trust the path you want to take. And now you may be at a point where you feel that any exploration on that side or in those gifts means you have to go all in, which I feel brings up more resistance for you. That isn't accurate. Start small. Small can be powerful. Say, another example is coming up. Say you want to be a tarot reader, but you're thinking, I don't have the time. I don't know this. I have to do this, do this. You can start one day at a time. I'll give you a very high level format of potential things you can do. You can buy an oracle deck on something like Amazon that appeals to you, where the imagery really appeals to you, and you can read through the book. You can get a tarot journal as well as your tarot deck and the book to the tarot deck that you choose, and you can journal every day about it. That's an investment of, let's say, for the deck maybe $10, and then the tarot journal maybe $10. So for $20, and then you just decide the amount of time. You could start out with 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, dedicating to learning more about tarot to see if it's something you're really interested in, etc. Small is powerful for you, and I feel that is the manner in which you leaning in to trust yourself, to trust your intuition is going to be very important for you. Now, in terms of the chakra cards, we have 7-2 relationships and 18-6 intuition. So the relationships, this aligns with the commitment coming in summertime. On a love note, I am getting strongly that the more you are able to show respect for yourself and show up authentically for yourself, my pal threes, the more you will be able to show up authentically and clear in this upcoming relationship. Okay? I do feel they align. The more you're not honest and numb with yourself, I feel that energy will transfer. And maybe if you recall past relationships, maybe it has in the past, it has bled into relationships where people may have thought you were numb or not as engaged because you do that to yourself. It's a natural, at this time, I feel for many of you, a natural thing you do. So, relationships, I definitely think are coming positive relationships, romantic relationships specifically, and then friendships for some of you. Um, Intuition. This is also the second time intuition has been brought up. So trust and intuition are big. Showing more respect, trusting your intuition, showing more respect to yourself, allowing yourself to be in the positive energy and flow of something, allowing yourself to have a spark of intuition or inspiration and not tamping it down immediately. Because I'm feeling you're quite practical in your approach, my pal threes, that is why very practical and tactical examples have been coming through. Small is powerful, small is mighty for you. And I feel it's very important in your work to get to a point where you show more respect to yourself and your gifts and your abilities, and you gain more ability to trust in yourself. Now, the crystal cards that came out were interesting. So we have Phantom Quartz, Embrace Change, and then we have Aquamarine, Go with the Flow. So I feel they're saying the same thing, but the opposite thing at the same time. So Phantom Quartz, it is a crystal that will help you in embracing change. And I feel the change that Spirit Universe is calling you to embrace is a change in the way you think about yourself and about what you're capable of. I feel that this peace and stillness will come as you start leaning in to that more, because right now I feel you're at a place of kind of numbness, not like complete emotional numbness. That's not what I mean, but I feel in certain areas of your life you have learned to just kind of numb your feelings, tamp down your desires about it. So Phantom Course can help you with that. And then Aquamarine, Go with the Flow. As change happens, change can be uncomfortable. As humans, overall, we do not like change. So Aquamarine, I feel, will help with the bumps of change that come about, like the highs and the lows that come with change, of any change, if you're trying to do anything. And I feel it will help keep you focused and more even keeled as you are going and embracing change, instead of wanting to revert back maybe as quickly to the way you used to, or how you're currently operating, which you are moving out of, claiming that, where you're tamping down desires and ignoring the things you really want. So these are the messages that came through for you, my pal threes, on what you need to do to find more peace and stillness. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hit the bell notification so you know when I post new content. Also, check out the links below in the description box. I have a link to my paid readings on Ko-fi and Etsy. They're the same readings on either platform. I also have a list of my readings themselves below and the prices in case you're curious. I have also a link to my social media outlets, Instagram and Tumblr. Follow me on both, please. And as well as a link to my Amazon wish list, where if you ever wish to gift me a deck, I have all the decks that I am desirous to add to my collection. I would use it. Anything you purchase, I would use in a lot of readings, both paid and public. So feel free to click another link if another video called to you, another stone selection called to you. But if this is where I'll leave you for now, thank you for letting me read for you, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Hello, hello, my pal four. So for those of you who selected this beautiful pale lavender Lepidolite, this is your reading about finding peace and stillness. So I used a mix of oracle cards to bring through whatever messages I could from Spirit about what you need to do in order to find your peace and your stillness. So let's start from the beginning. We have meditate, seeing clearly, chakra balance, and balancing act. All right. The one thing that is very clear from the beginning, my pal fours, is this is all about you doing some internal work. Okay. I feel with balance actually coming out in two cards, you could be in a position or situation in life where you're very much out of balance energetically, is what I'm getting. And this doesn't have to necessarily mean responsibilities on your plate per se. For some of you, I do believe that's part of the being, balancing. For others of you, I feel the balancing could come in where you are, how do I phrase this? You are really doing things that don't resonate with you and don't align to your highest self. From looking at all of these cards, and I feel this is for a very select few people who chose this reading. This could be about gender identity, sexual orientation, things of that nature. And for you to find peace and stillness, that may be an area where you have to first do some very, deep self-reflection, maybe working on your self-concept. YouTube that if you'd like to know more. This is about getting to know yourselves, but that's for a select few people. I feel for everyone who selected this, or the vast majority of the people who selected this, this is about getting clear within yourself about something. So, with meditate and seeing clearly, meditation is a practice that can allow us to see things more clearly, things that we're going through in life, things that we desire, etc. Meditation can be a very powerful practice because it allows you to really settle your mind, quiet your mind, the monkey mind as they call it in yoga. Really get in touch with what you want, get out of the anxious mind chatter that we all have, and it will allow you to see things clearly. So Spirit Universe is really saying meditation may be a very useful tool for you to see clearly. Meditation can also help with chakra balancing. Okay? You can find videos aligned with that on YouTube. Feel free to search that out. Sound baths are also coming up as a way for you, my Power Fours, to find balance. Okay. Even specifically chakra balancing sound baths with, the beautiful crystal bowls and all that. There's some pretty cool YouTube channels on them, and not all of them are long. Some are 10 minutes a piece. There was, I don't remember how long ago this was, but I remember I found one that was like 10 minutes each, meditation for chakra balancing, chakra healing for all of them. And they were like I said, 10 minutes a piece, which was great. And I just would listen to the ones that, I felt I needed, or if there was one particular one I needed to work on to bring it back into balance. Now, balancing act. This also, and if you notice, all of the numbers on the cards are 1s and 2s. If you've been seeing a lot of patterns of 1s and 2s and 12s and 11s and whatever lately, this could be one of the reasons why you are really being called to, and then 1 came up again here. Meditation is also going to help you. I'm going to skip around actually a little more in this pile than the others. Is going to help you with stability and security. With the brown color of the card, that's root chakra energy. I feel that you may be operating in a capacity that really doesn't resonate with you. For instance, if you are in a career you hate, or in a major in university that you hate, and I feel that you're trying to please everybody. For some of you, you're trying to please everybody. You're trying to make parents happy. You're trying to follow the blueprint of what everybody else, could possibly think you should do. You have a job that pays well, so parents are really excited, but it's like soul sucking and you hate it. You know what I mean? And I feel that you're constantly kind of in this slightly energetically anxious space trying to put this balancing act. If you are someone who is currently, like I said, this is, I feel, a smaller percentage of you, but some of you who pick this, who are facing, you don't, lack of clarity around gender identity or sexual orientation, and you're not sure what you want to say to the world, you're not completely 100% sure within yourself. Meditation is a practice that can be useful to you getting clarity, being more in alignment. Now, I have a bit of resistance is coming up when I mention meditation, because I feel that that energy of resistance may be coming from people who think meditation is hours and hours of just sitting quietly in a room with your eyes shut. It can be that, monks, from different places, are legendary for their meditation, but like anything, like they are like the Olympic athletes of meditating. Okay, you can start with 2 to 3 minutes of meditation a day. There are apps, if you're really curious of a way to get started. There are apps that you can download, free apps you can download to your phone, that allow you to start meditating and develop a meditation habit in very digestible, bite-sized pieces. I feel for some of you that may be one of the things that has been keeping you from, trying out meditation. You think, oh my goodness, I don't have an hour. You don't need an hour. If you're starting out, find something for beginners. There are apps, there are videos on YouTube, search for that. That can probably help, because meditation is coming really strongly as a way for you to see clearly, become more grounded and balanced. All right, now, this next set of cards. I am confident with who I am, and I am free to be myself. These two in particular really are speaking to me with anyone who selected this pal, who may be challenged with, and when I say challenge, I'm not insinuating there's any type of problem. When I say challenge, I mean within yourself, you're not maybe sure or clear which way you want to go about gender identity or sexual orientation. The universe is calling you to be confident with who you are, and you are free to be yourself. How you choose to express that, to relay that, to, operate in society, that is 100% your choice. If you choose to be very flamboyant and open about it, if you decide to be very private about it, or anything in between, know that that is your choice. But I feel you don't quite know how that shakes out, if that makes sense right now, because you're not seeing yourself clearly. And I feel doing the meditation work, balancing your chakras, will allow you to first and foremost see yourself clearly. Once you are able to see yourself clearly, being I am, once you're able to see yourself clearly, I then feel you will be at a point of being where you are able to understand how you want to operate in society. Okay? And know that you are evolving. And I feel that meditation is definitely something that also can help you evolve. There are many studies done on meditation. Besides seeing clearly, it can help you connect to your higher self. It can help you connect to your intuitive abilities. It can help you really expand, especially inward, in so many different directions, and just help you improve in managing stress, just from very practical things to very extraordinary things. But meditation is a practice, and it's perfectly okay to start with just a few minutes a day. It's all about being consistent. I think that's the biggest thing that this pal needs to hear. Engaging in meditation, engaging in chakra balancing things, it is most useful when you are consistent with that practice. Now, we all want results instantly in anything new we try. Try a new diet. We want to lose, 20 pounds overnight and all that jazz. But this is more about, I feel this overall thing is more about you seeing clearly, is about your evolution, is about you evolving, is about you being able to tap into your higher mind. And for some of you, I feel you have known that, but for others of you, I, I think this is the first time you're hearing that. And the concept may be a little bit intimidating or scary, but no, it does not have to be that way. Um, Another thing, as looking at the chakra card, so we have 15-5 communication and 1-1 stability and security. Meditation allows you to be more present as one of the many perks and benefits of it. It allows you to see more clearly, and you seeing yourself more clearly is the first thing that spirit is asking you to focus on. But it will allow you to become more aware and discerning of yourself, of your environment, and of others. From that point of discernment, of awareness, you will be able to communicate, throat chakra, you will be able to communicate more clearly about who you are, more clearly about what you want, more clearly and confident with, how you operate, period. And that is quite important for your evolution, my pal fours. So I feel you'll find a lot of peace and stillness through meditation, which is going to open up and expand doors in so many things. And I know I've mentioned meditation like 50 times, but that is one of the things. And the chakra balancing, your throat chakra may especially be blocked. And if you are in any way playing a balancing act, trying to fulfill a role that is really not for you in whatever capacity that is, that one of your challenges may be your lack of being able to communicate what you do want and what you don't want, my pal fours. So you may be constantly living somebody else's expectation or somebody else's dream or somebody else's desire for your life. So say you want to go to school for dance, but your parents have decided that you should be a doctor, so you're in pre-med and you don't like it. You're good at it, but you don't like it because you have not felt clear enough within yourself to communicate that. That's just an example that came through. Now, stability and security, your root chakra, in terms of chakra balancing, this is another chakra that may really need some clearing and some work. I feel that there's not a lot, but there's a fear to your stability and security if you right now, okay, if you resonate with the message of this pile resonates with you about sexual identity, gender identity, or sexual orientation, there may be some concerns about safety and security, stability and security. Safety came out too. If you were to really be your most authentic self, okay? And you may be very anxious about that. Meditation is another tool. I keep going back to meditation that can help you with that anxiety. The answer is within. I know that sounds very zen and very cliche, but it is. Me, tarot reader on YouTube, can't give you an answer. The answer is within, and you tapping into yourself and seeing yourself clearly will provide you the insights and the wisdom of how you need to move forward, if that makes sense. All right. Now, for those of you where the message resonates around you're playing this like balancing act, kind of living somebody else's dream and expectation of who you should be, meditation can also provide you that clarity. Or I feel that there could be concerns, especially with the school example. Say you're going to school because your parents are paying for it, but if you did something that you wanted to do, they would cut off all funding and support. So there may be some very real concerns about your stability and security in terms of like your living arrangement. So you're going along with this more because you have to than a desire. Chakra balancing meditation will allow you to see yourself clearly, see your situation more clearly, and I feel really bring options, bring awareness to options that are in front of you, that you may not see right now, whatever they may be. Once again, the answer, what is truly best for you, will come from within. All right, now our crystal cards are Bloodstone, Get Up, Get Moving, and Amazonite, Loosen Your Grip. So the Bloodstone, that's a useful stone to help with you. I feel for many of you, you're kind of playing this balancing act, kind of has you stuck. And what I mean by stuck, like think of a circus. If you've ever seen somebody do the balancing on one of those really big uh, unicycles or something, they're in constant motion back and forth to balance themselves, but really they're not going anywhere. Okay, so I feel this, you're stuck because you're playing this balancing act, but you're not really moving anywhere. And I feel a stone like Bloodstone can help you along. If you meditate with it, it can help you really get the insights of the manner in which you need to get up and get moving. All right. And then Amazonite, Loosen Your Grip. For some, if you have such a determined way you're going to do things, even if it's not in alignment with your highest self, Amazonite can help you loosen your grip. Meditating and wearing Amazonite can help you loosen your grip on that concept, that idea, that path, so you can, to broaden your perspective, so you can see other available options to you. And that will be different things, of course, to different people. All right, so this was your reading, my Pal Fours, about finding your peace in your stillness. So meditation, if nothing else, is the biggest takeaway for you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when I post new content. Also, check out the links below to my paid readings on both Ko-fi and Etsy. They're the same on either platform. On my Ko-fi platform, it's really cool because I have my paid membership site where I publish a lot of exclusive content, different learning challenges, Too Hot for YouTube readings, and so much more. Then I have a link to my social media outlets, including Instagram and Tumblr. Follow me on both. And then I have a link to my Amazon wish list. If you'd ever wish to gift me with a deck, I'd very much appreciated, and I would use it in a lot of readings. Feel free to click on another reading if you feel called to do so. But if this is where I leave you for now, thank you for letting me read for you today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.